Namami buddhang gunasagarantam santa sada huntu sukhiya vera kayo jigunjo sakalo dugandho gaccanti sabbe maranang ahanca namami dhammang sugatena desitam santa sada huntu sukhiya vera kayo jigunjo sakalo dugandho gaccanti sabbe maranang ahanca namami sanghang muniraja savakan santa sada huntu sukhiya vera kayo jigunjo sakalo dugandho gaccanti sabbe maranang ahanca sadhu sadhu sadhu. Sampurita pamita paramita balena vindvansiyo kila kilesa samohajalang teneva landa arahang arahoti namang vandami buddha mamalang hadaye tapentva namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the exalted one, the worthy one, the supremely enlightened one. 3 refuge. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami. I go to the Buddha for refuge. I go to the Dhamma for refuge. I go to the Sangha for refuge. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. A second time, I go to the Buddha for refuge. A second time, I go to the Dhamma for refuge. A second time, I go to the Sangha for refuge. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. A third time, I go to the Buddha for refuge. A third time, I go to the Dhamma for refuge. A third time, I go to the Sangha for refuge. 5 precepts, Panchasila. Pānātipātā vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. I undertake the training rule to abstain from taking life. Adinādāna vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. I undertake the training rule to abstain from stealing. Kāmesu miccācārā vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. I undertake the training rule to abstain from sexual misconduct. Musāvādā vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. I undertake the training rule to abstain from false speech. Suramēraya majjapamā daṭṭhānā vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. I undertake the training rule to abstain from intoxicating drinks and drugs causing heedlessness. Buddha Vandana, homage to the Buddha. Itipiso bhagavā arahang sammā sambuddho viññācarana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sārati sattā deva manussanam Buddho Bhagavati. Such indeed the exalted one, worthy, supremely enlightened, endowed with knowledge and conduct, well gone, nor of the world, incomparable trainer of persons to be tamed, supreme teacher of deities and men, enlightened and exalted. Dhamma Vandana, homage to the teachings of the Buddha. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditthiko Akaliko Ehi Pansiko Opanayiko Pañcantang Veditambo Viññuhiti. The Dhamma is well expounded by the Blessed One, directly visible, immediately effective, calling one to come and see, leading onwards, and to be personally realized by the wise. Sangha Vandana, homage to the noble disciples of the Buddha. Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ujjupatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Nyāyapatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sāmīci patipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Yadidaṃ cattari purisa yugani atta purisa pungala Esa Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ahuneyo pahuneyo dakkineyo anjali karaniyo anuntaram punyakyentam lokan sati. The order of the Blessed Ones, disciples is practicing well. The order of the Blessed Ones, disciples is practicing rightly. The order of the Blessed Ones, disciples is practicing correctly. The order of the Blessed Ones, disciples is practicing properly. That is the 4 pairs of persons, the 8 kind of individuals. The order of the Blessed Ones, disciples is worthy of offerings and hospitality, worthy of gifts and salutation, the supreme field of merits for the world. Homage to these 2 persons. Vandami chetiyang sambang sambatani supatithitam saririka dhatu mahabodhing buddharupang sakalang sada. Homage to the Buddha's relics, the Bodhi trees, and all the shrines, statues in the world. Aspiration, prarthana. Imena punya kammena mami bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pantiya. By the power of all this spiritual energy that I acquired here, may I have only good friends, noble association, until I attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Venerable members of the Mahasangha, friends in the Dhamma, now we are going to start our weekly Dhamma program, the Tuesday meditation class. In this class, we learn Buddha's message and also we practice meditation. When we see the Buddha's message, it is very clear that the Supreme Buddha pointed out the way how we achieve the real happiness, inner peace. Happiness is the main purpose of everyone. In our day-to-day life, we do everything in the name of happiness. But unfortunately, day by day, sometimes we lose our happiness. Buddha says the ordinary world, they always practice something which depend on outside the material world. Because of that, finally their lives end with suffering. The reason is that if we depend on outside the material world, when the outside world, material world changes, we are suffering. That is the nature of the world. In this situation, the Supreme Buddha pointed out the clear path how we achieve the real happiness. We should make a refuge within us, purifying our mind. The main reason that we are happy is that purifying our mind. The more we are able to purify our mind from negative thoughts, craving, anger and delusion, the more we are able to achieve the real happiness, inner peace. Happiness is the main purpose of everyone who was born in this world. If we are able to cleanse our mind, we are able to develop our inner peace. Especially, the Buddha explained the path how we meditate. Meditation means mental development, mental culture. In one side, we cleanse our mind from negative thoughts. On the other side, we develop positive thoughts in our mind. When we see negative thoughts, we can see Buddha pointed out 5 hindrances, the nivarana or pancha nivarana, that disturb our peace of mind. Sensual pleasure, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry, skeptical doubts. These are the negative thoughts that disturb our peace of mind. By practicing Dhamma, especially by practicing meditation, we overcome these negative thoughts from our mind. On the other side, we develop positive thoughts that help us to develop our inner peace. What are the positive thoughts that we develop when we practice, especially bhavana? There are 5 spiritual faculties, we can see what the Buddha explained. Saddha, confidence, virya, effort, sati, mindfulness, samadhi, tranquility or concentration, and panya, wisdom. These are the positive thoughts that we develop when we practice meditation, when we develop our mental culture. In this situation, especially we should understand the nature of ignorance or delusion, avidya, moha. Ignorance is the main unwholesome mental root that disturbs our peace of mind. When we some discourses, the Buddha especially explained the nature of ignorance or delusion, avidya. What is the meaning of avidya? Avidya means when we experience something through our senses, we think that there is some material thing outside. And also we think that after we experience, still it is in the outside world. That is the nature of the ignorance or delusion. On the other side, unknowing the Four Noble Truths, dukkha aññānaṁ, non-knowing of suffering, the origin of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and the path that leads to getting rid of suffering. If someone doesn't know these 4 things, the Four Noble Truths, that is also ignorance. In this situation, especially we should understand the nature of ignorance. Buddha explained the path how we achieve the wisdom. Wisdom is the opposite of ignorance. Ignorance means unknowing the world. Or when we experience something, we don't know what happens to our life. If we are able to understand what happens to our life when we experience something, that belongs to wisdom. Wisdom can be divided into 3. One of them is Suttamaya Panya, the wisdom of hearing. Chintamaya Panya, the wisdom of contemplating. And Bhavanamaya Panya, the wisdom of meditation. The very first thing is the knowledge or wisdom of hearing, Suttamaya Panya. When we listen to Buddha's message, we can understand what happens to our life. Every moment, we experience something through our senses. We see something, we taste something, We hear something, we smell something, we feel something through our physical body. When we contact something at the present moment, we are able to contact something. That first experience is neither wholesome nor unwholesome. That is neither pleasant nor unpleasant. The very first experience is neither good or bad. The very first experience is just a result of our previous actions. The very first experience is neutral. In the very first experience, we receive only the primary experience. But it is very instant. It arises and ceases immediately. When we recognize something, what we hear, what we heard, what we taste, the very first experience has already ceased. When you look at here, you may think that I see something at the moment. I look at something at the moment. You can look at something at the moment. You can contact something through your senses at the moment. But when you recognize it, the very first experience, especially the material world, has ceased. This is the very first experience we receive throughout listening to Dhamma that belongs to Sutameya Panya, the wisdom of hearing. If you are able to understand that as soon as I recognize something, the very first experience has ceased, or the material world has ceased, or the 5 senses and 5 outside objects have already ceased. If you have this understanding, we can know that whether I am ignorant or wise. When we think there is something that I experience at the moment, it means our mind is fixed in outside world, with the material world. That is the nature of ignorance. If we have this ignorance, it means we depend on outside. As a result of this ignorance, we have to suffer when outside world changes. And also, if we can think that as soon as I see something, I hear something, I taste something, I smell something, I feel something, the first experience or the forms have ceased, then we depend on insight. We depend on our mind, mindfulness. Then we can see something, we can experience something, but we don't depend on outside because we know very well the outside world has already ceased. If we have this understanding and mindfulness, this is the path how we overcome suffering. According to Abhijñā Sutta, the Supreme Buddha says, as a wise person, what is the highest thing that we should educate, that we should understand, that we should learn? Understanding 5 aggregates is the highest education, learning that we can gain. What are the 5 aggregates? Rupa, forms, Vedana, feelings, Sanya, perception, Sankhara, mental formations, and Vijnana, consciousness. Understanding these 5 aggregates is the highest knowledge that a person can gain in this life as a wise person. Every moment, these 5 aggregates arise with the conditions. As the result of the cessation of conditions, these 5 aggregates immediately cease. If we don't know this nature, we take these 5 aggregates as mine, as me, as myself, because of ignorance. The very first experience of our life, that the very first five aggregates is neither wholesome nor unwholesome. That is just a vipaka or result that is neutral. The very first experience arises and ceases, and when we recognize something, the very first experience has already ceased. We recognize at the moment, but we should understand, I recognize this experience through my ignorance or wisdom. If we think there is something outside at the moment, it means we are ignorant. If we think that the outside world has already ceased, we are wise. In this situation, whenever we are ignorant, we are in the samsaric cycle, avidya paccaya sankhara. With the arising of ignorance, mental formations arise. As the result of arising of mental formations, consciousness arises. So on, we go to birth, jati paccaya jara marana soka parideva. With the arising of rebirth or birth, jara marana soka parideva, decay, death, sorrow, lamentation, these things arise. It means we are in the samsaric circle, samsaric journey. If we want to overcome this ignorance, we should understand the ignorance of avidya. We know very well, now the outside world has ceased. I recognize everything through my mind consciousness, manovinyana. With this understanding, we go away from the samsaric circle. Avidyayatve asesa viraga nirodha sankara nirodho. With the complete cessation of ignorance, mental formations cease. With the cessation of mental formations, consciousness ceases. Vijnana nirodha nama rupa nirodho. With the cessation of consciousness, mentality and corporeality cease. So on, we go to the final level. Jati nirodha, jara marana soka parideva dukkha domana supayasa nirujjanti. With the cessation of birth, decay, sorrow, lamentation, death, these sufferings gradually cease. In this situation, very first level, as a wise person, Buddha says we should understand that the five aggregates. As a wise person who was born in this world with his direct knowledge. Next, Buddha says, as a wise person, what we should overcome with our direct knowledge. They are avidya bhavatanha. Avidya means ignorance or delusion. As I mentioned earlier, that delusion should be overcome as a wise person with his direct knowledge. And also, the more we overcome avidya or ignorance, the more we overcome bhavatanha, the craving of becoming. Bhavatanha, the attachment to the world. You know, whenever we think that when we experience something, these forms have already ceased, I recognize everything through my mind consciousness, immediately we overcome attachment and even detachment. We have no any craving or ill will whenever we have this understanding. That is why Buddha says, as a wise person, we should overcome ignorance and attachment to the world or the craving of becoming bhavatanha with our direct knowledge. Next, Buddha says, as a wise person, what we should practice. The highest qualities that we can practice are samatha and vipassana, tranquility or concentration and insight meditation. Our highest success, our real success that we can gain in our life, that the duration of practicing tranquility and insight meditation, samatha and vipassana. If we have the understanding of five aggregates, if we know the nature of avidya and bhavatanha, we overcome practice samatha and vipassana by practicing some meditation techniques such as metta bhavana, loving kindness meditation, anapanasati, breathing meditation, buddhanusati, the contemplation of the Buddha. By practicing these meditation techniques day by day, we concentrate our mind in the present moment. When we develop concentration or samadhi bhavana, we are able to develop insight meditation too. We reflect on everything as impermanent, as dissatisfactory, and also as selflessness. Next, Buddha says, as a wise person who was born in this world, the highest qualities that we can achieve in our life with our direct knowledge is that vijja, vimukti, knowledge and liberation. The more we are mindful and wise, the more we overcome craving, anger, and delusion. This is the liberation. We liberate from craving, anger, and delusion. As wise persons, we should understand our highest goal in our life. Our highest goal should be liberation or emancipation from negative thoughts, from craving, anger, and delusion. On this path, Buddha explained the highest quality that we can practice. The foundation of meditation is that practicing mindfulness, being aware of the present moment, being aware of our body and mind in the present moment. Okay, friends in the Dhamma, now we are going to practice meditation, mindfulness. Especially here we practice fourfold mindfulnesses, Satara Satipatthana. Mindfulness is divided into four: contemplation of body, contemplation of consciousness, contemplation of feelings, contemplation of mental formations. But the foundation of mindfulness, being aware of our body and mind at the present moment. Okay, dear friends in the Dhamma, first of all, we are going to practice Sati Nimitta or focus of mindfulness. Then we practice Dhatu Manasikara, the contemplation of four elements. And next we practice Anapanasati, and finally we practice insight meditation. Okay, for that, please get ready for meditation. Relax your body, please. Please take a deep breath in. Hold a few seconds. Breathe out slowly. Again, take a deep breath in. Hold few seconds. Breathe out slowly. Relax your body, please, again. Now be aware of your body posture that you are sitting here. From your legs to head and from your head to legs. Please keep your attention around the nose or upper lip in the present moment. Sati Nimitta, focus of mindfulness. Please keep your attention around the nose or upper lip with Sati Nimitta, the focus of mindfulness. I completely keep my attention around the nose or upper lip in the present moment. When my mind goes past to and future, I make it to the present moment. I bring my mind to the present moment. I make my mind friendly. I live in the present moment with the awareness of my nose or upper lip. When I live in the present moment mindfully, I can see the thoughts that come to my mind. I am fully aware of my mind or consciousness. I continue practicing sati nimitta, focus of mindfulness as much as I can. By continuing the focus of mindfulness, sati nimitta, I am going to contemplate on dhatu manasikara, the contemplation of four elements. My physical body consists of four elements. They are Patavi, Apo, Tejo and Vayu. Earth element, water element, fire element and air elements. These are the four elements that consist of my physical body. I focus my mind on these four elements with the awareness of sati nimitta. Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu, Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo. Earth element, water element, fire element, and air element. My physical body consists of these four elements. Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo. Earth element, water element, fire element, and air element. These are the four elements that consist with my body. When I contemplate on these four elements again and again, I am able to concentrate my mind on these four elements. Patavi, 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 Apo, 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 Tejo, 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 Vayo, Vayo, Vayo. My physical body consists of these four elements. Physical body is the result of nutrition or food that I have taken. Because of nutrition or food, this physical body arises. As the result of the cessation of food or nutrition, this physical body also ceases. Ahara samudaya, rupa samudayo. Ahara nirodha, rupa nirodho. This physical body is not just a particular person. This is the result of some causes. This body is the cause of food or nutrition. This body is not mine, not me, not myself. Netan mama, ne sohamasmi, name soatta. Arising, ceasing. I say the arising and ceasing of this physical body. When I recognize something through my physical body, I have that understanding through my mind consciousness. I contact something at the moment with the physical body, but I recognize it, the very first experience has already ceased. I recognize everything through four aggregates: Vedana, Sanya, Sankahara, Vijnana. Feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. That understanding also is impermanent. Mind consciousness is also impermanent. It arises and ceases at the moment. With this understanding, I don't depend on this physical body. As a result of understanding this path, I live in the present moment with mind consciousness, and also I recognize that this mind consciousness also arises and ceases at the moment. It is impermanent, it is dissatisfactory, it is selfless. I continue practicing sati nimitta, keeping my mind around the nose or upper lip. I still in the present moment with the awareness of my nose or upper lip in the present moment. With the sati nimitta focus of mindfulness, I'm going to practice breathing meditation. The awareness of in and out breathing. When I breathe in, I am aware of that now I am breathing in. When I breathe out, I recognize that I am breathing out. I am still keeping my mind around the nose or upper lip with the awareness of breathing in and out. Breathing in, breathing out. When I am mindful with breathing in and out, I can understand the feelings that I receive, whether they are good or bad, or pleasant or unpleasant, or painful or non-painful or neutral. I receive feelings through my six senses. Chakku sampassajā vedana, soda sampassajā vedana, so on. Every moment, feelings arise and cease. I focus on feelings, whether they are painful or pleasant or neutral. I am aware of my feelings. I don't struggle with these feelings, I just recognize them. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. With the awareness of feelings, I am breathing in and out. Breathing in, breathing out. When my mind gains concentration, I feel very pleasant feelings. I recognize this feeling. Recognizing this feeling, I am breathing in and out mindfully. Still, I am in mindfulness. I keep my full attention around the nose or upper lip. At the same time, I am breathing in and out mindfully. When I am aware of feelings that I have, I understand that these feelings arise because of some reasons. Because of contact, feeling arises as the result of the cessation of contact. Feelings also cease. Feelings are impermanent. They are not me. They are not mine. They are not myself. They are the results of some causes. Passa paccaya vedana samudayo. Passa nirodha vedana nirodho. With the arising of contact, feeling arises. With the cessation of contact, feelings also cease. Feelings are impermanent. They are dissatisfactory. They are selfless. Still, I am mindful in the present moment. With the awareness of the sati nimitta, focus of mindfulness, I am breathing in and out. When I breathe in and out mindfully, I can recognize my consciousness. I am fully aware of my mind. My mind is so pleasant and calm. My mind has no lust, no anger, no delusion. When I live in the present moment with mindfulness, I am completely eradicate negative thoughts, craving, anger, and delusion. My mind is liberated from negative thoughts. I am mindful and wise. I see every moment my mind arises and ceases. My mind always arises and ceases. This mind or consciousness is not me, it's not myself, it is not mine. Consciousness arises because of some reasons. Nama rupa pacca vijnanam. Nama rupa samudaya vijnana samudayam. Nama rupa nirodha vijnana nirodho. With the arising of mentality and corporeality, consciousness arises. With the cessation of mentality and corporeality, consciousness also ceases. Arising, ceasing, arising, ceasing. Furthermore, I am aware of sati nimitta, focus of mindfulness in the present moment. With the awareness of the present moment, I am breathing in and out. Breathing in, breathing out. My entire life is the present moment. That present moment consists with 5 aggregates. Rupa, form, Vedana, feeling, Sanya, perception, Sankhara, mental formations, and Vijnana, consciousness. These 5 aggregates are the entire life of mind. Every moment, these 5 aggregates arise and cease. Is something that happens to arise, only these 5 aggregates. If something that happens to cease, that is only these 5 aggregates. Arising, ceasing, arising, ceasing. Arising, ceasing. Whenever I contemplate on these 5 aggregates as arising and ceasing, I liberate from outside, and also I liberate from inside too. Everything which is outside and inside is impermanent. Everything is impermanent. 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 everything, all five aggregates arise and cease. Sabbe sankara anicchati yada paññāya pansati ata nibbindati dukkhe esa maggo visuddhiyā. All conditioned things are impermanent. He who sees this reality with wisdom overcomes suffering. This is the path to purity. Sabbe sankara dukkhati yada paññāya pansati ata nibbindati dukkhe esa maggo visuddhiyā. All conditioned things are dissatisfactory. He who sees this reality with wisdom overcomes suffering. This is the path to purity. Sabbe Dhamma anattati yada paññāya pansati ata nibbindati dukkhe esa maggo visuddhiyā. All phenomena are selfless. He who sees this reality with wisdom overcomes suffering. This is the path to purity. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.